And we are going to ask Eleonora Burei from Italy to come and speak to us. She is 16 years old and she wrote an essay called Cycles. And we're going to have judges Kelly and Colin. All right, Eleonora, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Hello all, I'm Eleonora. Before I start my speech, I want to thank all the judges for their effort and participation and their hard work in this competition. And for putting me in the finals, I really appreciate them. So I was always writing my essay Cycles. I was wondering, I wrote this essay based on a historical view because, well, I love history. I was thinking about how, based on all the historical knowledge and all the past epidemics that we have seen throughout history, how this will affect humanity in the future, including this coronavirus pandemic. And I realized that there's like a pattern or like a cycle where we see throughout history diseases appearing and spreading and killing vast populations of humanity on and on and on continuously. This vicious cycles goes on and on and on. And I believe we will also see this in the future. That's why, like in the 21st century, when supposedly we have by far in human history the most scientific advances and knowledge, we still see a pandemic happening and affecting many lives nowadays. In my essay, I predicted, and I believe that will happen in the future, but we will continue to see many epidemics happening because as the human population increases and the demand for meat especially, we will need more smaller factories, and this will be easier for viruses to transmit from animals to humans. And also because this technology will advance too, it'll be very quick for viruses to travel from one continent to another because of quicker air travel. And this will cause, obviously, because of all this, there will be much more epidemics, and then these viruses will spread much quicker, like wildfire. So the point that I wanted to make in my essay is that we have to learn from the past epidemics that we have seen throughout history, and this one including today, because in order we can't prevent diseases appearing because Mother Nature works that way. We have a diverse flora and fauna on this planet. But what we can do as humanity is to prevent epidemics, to prevent the vast spread of diseases throughout the planet, and to contain diseases in one place so that we can eliminate them. Because if we don't do this, we will continue to see much more epidemics in the future, but much worse ones because of the reasons I explained before. So that's why, as I said in my essay, I think that our future is determined by two choices: to remain in the dangerous position that we are in and not learn from mistakes, or to revolutionize the way that we live and behave on this delicate planet in the following years so that we can change the future for the better of all of us and for the better of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you so much. And I think we heartily agree with what you have said. And we're going to let's bring in Colin from Brock University for a question. Go ahead, Colin.
Yeah, thank you, Eleonora. So you took sort of a bit of a historical approach and focusing on the past viruses. And so I guess my question is about, what lessons do you think we need to learn, or maybe we're not learning from those past historical instances of coronavirus? What lessons do we need to learn to prevent those future pandemics from really hurting us?
I think what we need to learn is one, we have to control the population, because it's okay I think it's okay if our population continues to grow, obviously, but we're increasing at exponential rate and our planet can't handle all these people. And this will obviously worsen the rates of future epidemics. So one thing I think people should learn from the history of epidemics is to control our population size and growth. Another thing I think humans should learn from is to really focus all of our energy on improving our science and medicine, so that we can, if in case future epidemics happen, we can help by having all the scientific knowledge. Obviously, in the past, in like the 1500s, people didn't have all this scientific knowledge and all these research like we have today. So we have to really take advantage of what we have and to improve and increase this knowledge for the future.
All right, and we'll ask Kelly from the University of Waterloo.
Hello, Eleonora. That was very well done. Thank you. I'm curious to know if you could put yourself hypothetically 100 years from now. How do you think us globally will be judged by how we handled the current COVID pandemic?
I think in 100 years from now, if people decide to take action after once this coronavirus pandemic is over and not just ignore it like, okay, this happened, forget about it. If we learn from this mistake, from this coronavirus pandemic and the other ones that happened before it, and we follow like some of the solutions I proposed in my essay, in 100 years, we could really start to see much fewer pandemics than what we will expect to see if we didn't do anything at all. We could expect to see almost no pandemic. Of course, diseases will continue to appear, but if we decide to take action now, we will see much fewer epidemics happening, or maybe none at all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Eleonora. And we certainly share with your desire that this doesn't happen again in the future.
Hello, my name is Eleonora Burei, and I'm really happy to be participating in this competition. I think it's really nice that students can share their ideas of what might happen in the future after this coronavirus pandemic. Well, my essay is based on a historical context, so I'm like predicting and like expressing my ideas of what might happen in the future after this pandemic. What I talk about in this essay is about how across history we see like epidemics go on, and it's a vicious cycle that just goes on and on and on, but like they appear, they spread, and they kill people, and it goes on and on, as we can see like in epidemics like the Black Death and the Spanish flu. And I talk about how overpopulation, how the population increasing, and how like the demand for more research because of the increase in the population will spur more epidemics, because as people get closer to each other, it's easier for diseases to transmit. And also we need more resources for the vast number of people. There'll be more factories where like animals are tied closer to each other, and that will make it easier for the transmission of like a disease from animal to human. So that will like likely spur more epidemics because of those more factories like in smaller sizes with like animals stuck to each other. And the same case goes for wildlife markets, and how in the future, since our technology might be so advanced, like if I cross the Pacific Ocean, it'll probably be like in 2 hours instead of 14 hours like nowadays. We don't know, but this will help to like for viruses and diseases to spread quicker. Like in general, when people are closer to each other, because there's limited space of this overpopulation, and because of the technology we might have in the future, and how we will be able to transport cells from A to B in a quicker time, this will allow the disease to spread quicker and also easier as we're closer to each other and more interconnected, and how these factories in smaller sizes are pushing these animals together. And well, this future seems very pessimistic in one point of view. In this essay, I talk about some solutions like controlling the rates of growth in the population, building more environmental friendly like farm factories for animals, controlling wildlife trafficking, and improving medicine and those kind of areas of science. Well, I hope that you enjoy reading my essay, and bye.